So the Clippers are now 0-2 after making this James Harden trade, and it is very clear why. James Harden may just be the biggest team cancer in the NBA today and in NBA history. It literally has not been 2 games yet, and he has already brought drama and issues to the team. And the start of this James Harden Clippers downfall came when he said this.
I'm not a system player. I am a system. You know what I mean? So
if LeBron James came out and said exactly what Harden just said, the backlash would be insane, and rightfully so. It's a team game and a team system, and for James Harden to join a team with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook, and to call himself the system is selfish on so many levels and just not true. I could easily name 40 players in the NBA today that I'd rather have on my team than James Harden. Which may sound like a hot take, but think about it. The NBA is at its most talented spot in history right now, and James Harden is acting like he's a lot more irreplaceable than he is. In their last game against the Nets, he had 12 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and threw the ball at the Nets announcer's face. We've seen how this plays out. Ever since the Rockets, he's joined better and better teams with more than enough assets to contend and win without him, and then he makes everything about himself and brings down the team with him, and inevitably demands a trade, and if you don't trade him, he will just simply not play. I know everybody can't see it right now, but I promise within the next 3 seasons, Harden is going to be demanding a trade from the Clippers. And when he does, I'm going to show that clip just to say I called it. And the reason I'm so confident is that this is simply who Harden has become. He cannot handle the fact that he's getting worse and worse as time goes by, and the fact that he's probably not going to win a championship by the end of his career, and he's realizing that every team is not going to be like the Rockets. He has now played 15 seasons on 5 different teams, and the fact that he has been on teams with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, and every time he is the one getting blamed for the team's failures, that is sad. For somebody who was at one time the face of the NBA and a player most people will likely consider a top 50 player ever, what he's doing has been destroying his legacy. And I know it's only been the first 2 games with this team, and obviously they still have the potential to be a good team. Any team with the amount of all-star caliber players like the Clippers always have at least a chance of being successful, but it just feels like deja vu anytime I see a new James Harden super team formed. Think about what everybody was saying when he joined the Brooklyn Nets. The big 3 of Kyrie, KD, and Harden was formed, and they were about to dominate teams. They were 3 of the best offensive players ever, and it seemed like a no-brainer. And while they did decent, and injuries really set this team back a lot, overall Harden's off-the-court issues ended up being a big factor in the Nets' downfall. And now the same thing happened on the 76ers, and the fact that when Harden got traded for role players, everybody was talking about how the 76ers got better just goes to show the terrible effect that James Harden has on teams. And what's even crazier is they were right. The duo of Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid are doing very well right now. Currently, the 76ers have the best record in the East, and they just beat the Boston Celtics, which seems to always be their biggest test. And recently, Embiid was asked about how good the Sixers are doing right now. His answer was, nobody on this team has an ego. Which I think is a pretty obvious shot towards James Harden, but again, he's not wrong. And honestly, trading Harden has proved to be the best thing possible for the Sixers team. Which still makes no sense considering this is still James Harden, the guy who was dominating the league just a few years ago. And if you're James Harden, you've got to be worried about how much your legacy is being tarnished right now. Overall, this is nothing I didn't expect to happen so far, but after he went out and called himself the team's system and threw the ball directly at the Nets announcer, I had to come on here and talk about it. Hopefully, the Clippers are able to stay healthy enough and they're able to work together and make it deep in the playoffs this year, because I want to see Harden succeed, but just going off of what we've seen, you've got to wonder how bad he wants it. Do you guys think the Clippers can figure out their issues, or is James Harden going to tear this team down as well? Let me know what you all think in the comments below, but that's all I've got for today. Thank you all for watching, and with that being said, I'm out of here, and I'll see you on the next one.